Welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're just going to be doing an overall update of everything that's going on and everything that has been happening. This is going to be a talking video, and I know there is some people out there that just don't like watching talking videos, because I understand if you go on YouTube you want to be immersed in a video and actually watch it, whereas today I'm just going to be talking about lots of things that have been happening and what's actually to come as well, because as you can see I've not uploaded in over a month, and that is for good reason. So over the past month there's been some personal things going on, such as a different setting, because myself and my family have moved house. Myself, my son and my wife now have our own place, which is really exciting, and there's obviously been a lot going on and hard work involved moving houses, and we're now finally settled in, so all is well. I have actually been pretty ill. I think a week out of the past month I was just completely floored. I was off work as well, and I just wasn't in the right state to actually produce a video. So I thought I would just do this big massive update and just talk through absolutely everything. Like I said, I know people don't like a talking video, but hopefully this can be the sort of thing that you just put your headphones in and listen in the background, or if you're genuinely interested then keep watching. Something over the course of the year that has been a struggle is trying to get the perfect quality for YouTube. I mean, I watch all the big car guys every single day, like Adam LZ, Racer Miata, Cletus McFarland, etc. And their quality is obviously top tier. But for myself, like, I've got a really good computer, I've got a decent iPhone, and for some reason I just cannot get the quality that I'm after. And been working some things out and trying different stuff, and a lot of it has taken up time because of the way I've been trying to do it, but hopefully I've managed to work out how to get the best quality, and I'll only see this when editing, so please let me know in the comments below if you do see a difference in the quality. Although I haven't been posting on YouTube, I have been posting on the TikTok account. It's just something on the account that I don't need to set up and plan and do a video like YouTube. I can literally just get my phone out and create a video. So if you have been feeling like you've missed out on stuff, then just head over to the TikTok. Link is in the description, and I just post random things on there as well. But I just want to say that it is actually doing very well, because I surpassed the 1,000 followers milestone that I had. I've never had over 1,000 subscribers, followers, whatever on any social media in my entire life. So to a lot of people 1,000 is nothing, but for me it's huge. And I just want to say, if you're one of those people, as well as the frequent subscribers and followers of the YouTube, I just want to say a massive thank you, because you've no idea what this means for me, what it's doing to the channel, and the growth of the TDI Society Club is actually happening, and it's really exciting, and it wouldn't happen without you, the viewers. So I just want to take a minute and say thank you so much. So if you do follow me on TikTok, you would have seen that I put up a for sale post about the GDM Teg that I have, and it's not been a light decision. It's one of my dream cars since I was a teenager, but saying that, I'm now in my 30s, and it's just something that's kind of fizzled out, which is very strange to be saying, because when I got the car I was absolutely buzzing and could not wait to work on it, could not wait to get it on the road. But I've owned it for 2.5 years, and you'd be lucky if I've put anything over an hour into working on it. My dad's done more work on it than I have, and it's the sort of thing that I literally walk right past it to then work on the Bora, and I'm more excited about the Bora and the parts that I've got to fit to that, and that's really saying something, because the car has been out the back of my mum and dad's house the entire time I've owned it, and I've not once bothered, and to me that just shows that I shouldn't have it then. And yes, I'm not pressured into selling it, there's no like time against it, if you like, but for me it's just sitting there, and I would either rather someone else have the excitement and the enjoyment that I initially had, and then get it back on the road and use it for its intended purpose, or because I've no stress about it, I can just leave it and then eventually come to work on it and enjoy it for why I bought it for. And it's just been this like ongoing like unbalancedness in my head of like, you're not using it, sell it, it's your dream car, keep it, that sort of thing. So if you do have any opinions on that, then please comment down below as well, because I've not really had much input from other people. Obviously, my dad said, like, it's your dream car, keep it, there's no stress, being in the garage. My wife's also said the exact same thing. But for me, it's like an asset, and that can obviously be sold, and the money used can obviously be put towards my personal things in life, or it can be put towards the Bora and make it that even better as well. So I'm currently weighing things up. The for sale post is out there. I've had honestly over 150 messages from Facebook Marketplace, but a lot of people are put off by the rust that it has. And if you know Hondas, it's a typical Honda thing I've worked on and had way worse, and they've seen the road again, so it's honestly not that bad. But I think people just, you know, they're trying their luck. I even had one guy that lowballed me an offer, and I told him exactly like the knowledge that I have of it, and I think his reply was like, "Oh, sorry, I thought you didn't know what you had, so I tried my luck." Like, so what other person hasn't tried that? But for me, I put the feelers out there. I've had a lot of swaps offers as well, but now it's got to a point where I can't have another project because of everything that's going on in my life. I would rather just have my daily car than this in, and then the Bora is my main project focus. If that does interest you, the tech, then again, comment down below, just send me a message. A video that I've planned for actually the majority of this year is to actually sit like this and just go through every single car that I have owned. And I think it would be a good idea because one, it's a bit of like nostalgia. It makes me go through car number one all the way through to the Bora, which is 40 cars. I've owned 40 cars in my life, and I think it'd be a good idea just to go through every single one and how I got it, what my experiences were, what I done to it, how I got rid of it, and where they are now. I thought it'd be pretty interesting, and also it gives you the chance, the viewer, to get to know me a bit better, because obviously this channel is basically TDI focused, but there's many other cars that I'm interested in. Obviously doing something like that takes a bit of time and planning, and I've got a hard drive full of all the photos that I've had from all the cars that I've owned. And just a note is that these cars have all been bought and owned and used. They're not like buy and sell and flip and stuff. I've used every single one of them, or had a purpose for one. I've used every single one as like a daily or like a project to become a daily, and yeah, it's not like I've used them to like buy and sell and then I've like accumulated all these cars that I've owned when I haven't, so you know what I mean. But what I was actually thinking about doing is, I've never done it before, and I just want to see what the viewers would think about doing a live stream, and I'm not sure whether to do that on a YouTube thing or a TikTok live, and basically just do that video on live. And then that means that if you're watching and you have a question, maybe about something that I've missed, or a question about that specific car, then you can ask me and I can reply straight away. And I think that would be really beneficial because one, it's a video, two, it's live, so you can ask me any questions, and three, it kind of connects the two of us between like myself and the viewers, and I think that would be really positive. So again, just pop it in the comments, tell me what you think. If you would prefer to have an actual video like this, or if I was to do like a live stream Q&A sort of thing about all the cars that I've owned. But at that time of year again, where it is Christmas and New Year, so I won't be putting any videos out until after the New Year, purely because it's a family time. We're actually away for Christmas too. And I just think it'll be a perfect start into the new year with a fresh set of videos and continuing on the TDI Society. And I just wanted to take a minute just to reflect on this year, because at the beginning of the year, you'll check on the videos where it's like my first sort of vlog type video where I'm talking to the camera and doing whatever I'm doing with the cars. And that was a massive struggle for me. It's something that I regret not starting earlier. It's something that I've always had to overcome, speaking to myself on the camera and putting myself out there for anybody to see and judge and comment on, etc. And it was very difficult, but I managed to overcome that. So I'm patting myself on the back for that one, because I'm now happy and doing these YouTube videos, and I couldn't be like any more thankful for the people that have subscribed to the channel and engaged with it and followed all the other socials and stuff. It is massive for me, and I really appreciate it. It's interesting to go back to that video even now and see the sort of journey that I've taken to be able to speak to a camera now. You can see like I'm completely like not right look like talking and stuff like that. It's just quite interesting to look back on. So yeah, like I'm really happy with the progress that me personally has made to making YouTube videos. Something I wish I could have done better is just more uploads. I'm a more quality over quantity type of guy, and even the people that I watch on YouTube is, if they don't post a video for like a week or two, like yeah, it's a bit like, oh, like I'm really looking forward to their next video, but at the same time, it's when I do watch it, it's absolutely top tier. And that's the kind of goal that I'm looking for, is instead of just recording the quickest rubbish quality like video that I can just put on YouTube to get views and subscribers and stuff, like I'm not all about that. Like I would rather make a good quality video where I get all the information across that I need to, whereas I'm actually doing the job on my car as well and succeeding or not, and then putting those failures out there for other people to learn from. Like that's the sort of thing I've kind of been rolling with, and I'm just trying to do like a slightly different thing from someone that's just like, oh, I'm going to video my car, edit it, put it on YouTube, and then see what happens. Like it's not like that whatsoever. So going into 2026, I just want to have a real good focus on the YouTube videos and actually plan out like a set of videos instead of just waking up and thinking, right, what can I film today that I need to do to the car, because it's been a common theme where I've got a pile of parts for the Bora and I'll just do a video each time I'm doing a part, whereas I can video other things as well. So I'm just going to try and work all that out. But again, any suggestions or something that you would like to see, just pop them in the comments. With my current cars, I've obviously got the Nissan, which is like the family car, the workhorse if you like, and it's not really part of the channel. I've only done one video on it just to sort of introduce it, to say like, this is my daily. That's getting MOT'd and work done to it as well on the side. It's nothing interesting that I really want to, you know, record and put on YouTube. I would rather have the sole focus on like the Bora, for example. And with saying that, the amount of parts that I've got for that is unbelievable. Like what I've just got sitting waiting for the car, and I'm like constantly itching every day to like get these parts installed. But another thing that I should have mentioned about the whole house move is, unfortunately, I don't have a garage at the house to be able to just go and work on the car whenever I want. So I do need to plan with my mum and dad to be able to go to their garage and work away. But that's obviously completely fine. So the parts that I have to fit is the full front mount intercooler from Darkside, along with a 4-bar map sensor. I've got the hybrid turbo to fit, along with a 3-inch MP Developments downpipe, which I haven't actually shown on YouTube yet. It's on my TikTok. But honestly, what a work of art this thing is. I've never actually came across like a purchasable 3-inch downpipe. They're all 2.25 or 2.5 inch, whereas a company, MP Developments, actually make 3-inch downpipes. So it's like the standard flange for the turbo, and then it scales up into 3-inch. And honestly, this thing is a masterpiece, and I'm really excited to show it off on the channel and actually get the thing fitted, because I know the car is going to sound so much better and different. And I just want to say a shout out to them as well, as I'll put their name here so you can check them out. And that is because they actually had like a sort of Black Friday sale, and a group that I also follow, again I'll put them here, is Volkswagen Chop Shop. They have a sort of deal going with them where they had a discount code. So along with the Black Friday, along with the discount code that I used from them, I then got quite a hefty discount off the downpipe. So I was absolutely over the moon with it. So I just want to shout out the two companies, because I now have a 3-inch stainless steel downpipe for the Bora, and I'm buzzing. Because I then told Volkswagen Chop Shop that I'd used their discount code, they then sent me a bunch of their stickers, so I'll be putting them on the car as well. So yeah, everything just seemed to work out with that, and I'm really, really excited to get the thing fitted. And something else I want to try is, I don't think this has ever been done before. Like, I know I've seen like Jap cans on diesels, etc., but I don't think a Buddy Club Spec 4 back box has ever been put on a TDI. And you might be thinking, why are you doing that, James? And really, the Buddy Club Spec 4 is has to be my favourite exhaust like ever. Just the way it looks is, I just absolutely love it. And it's not just like a complete baffled muffler, it's a straight through design, so it is still straight piped, but it has like the sort of baffles around the side of it. So I'm really interested to see what a full 3-inch straight pipe to a Body Club Spec 4 bat box would sound like, and obviously how it would look on the Bora. Me thinking about it, I think it would be pretty cool, so I'm going to try it and see what happens. Obviously if it doesn't look good or sound good, I can just take the bat box off and put a downpipe, just like every other TDI out there. So I'm trying something different. I want to see what it sounds like, and you can even look for yourself, try and find a Body Club Spec 4 bat box or exhaust, and they're absolute hen's teeth. And I managed to get one for the Teg, which obviously I'm not really focused on just now because I'm thinking about selling. So I'm thinking about putting that on when I'm doing the downpipe for the Bora. So that's something to look forward to as well, because it's all about trial and error, and it's something that I want to trial, and if it sounds good and looks good, then happy days, and if not, I can always change it. Myself and my dad have also got planned to do hill climbs in 2026. There's a local track that hosts a hill climb event. You just buy a membership and then you can go in each of those sort of running days that they're on. And I'm going to be taking the Bora, and he's going to be taking the K20 swapped EG Coupe that I built about 5 or 6 years ago. And we're both going to try hill climb. Since my dad's retirement, he's always wanted to do track days, hill climbs, that sort of thing, and has never managed it. And it's something that I've always wanted to do as well, and obviously not done it either. So it'll be a first for us, and we're both really looking forward to it. So I'm looking at getting some more equipment, so maybe like a GoPro or something like that, so I can actually attach it in the car so you can see me driving, as well as even one for the exhaust so you can see what it sounds like, and mostly all the diesel reek coming out the back of the Bora at that hill climb. Something else for 2026 I've been thinking about is sort of setting myself like sort of little side challenges. So although the main focus of the channel is the Bora and me building it and doing all these sort of tests like the modified hybrid turbo and then doing this whole rare Jap can exhaust, there is something else I like doing, which is sort of challenges. So maybe try and challenge myself to find the cheapest car I can on Facebook Marketplace, Gumtree, etc. and then do like durability tests, and that'll just remind you of Whistling Diesel because he does all these hilarious durability tests, and I would like to do something similar, even like buy the cheapest car and then see how far it can take me until it breaks down, do the North Coast 500 in it, like just things like that. If you've got any ideas of things you want to see, then again, just let me know. Obviously, they'd have to be turbo dieseled because that's what the channel is, and I think it would be a good sort of series on the side just to have these stupid, daft challenges, possibly even destroying them. Like, I just think it would be really entertaining. So again, just let me know what you think, because I'm full of ideas myself, as you can tell, and if you've got an idea of something that you've always wanted to see, or something like an opportunity you can see me doing, then again, let me know. So that's it for me today. Thank you so much if you've watched this whole update video. It's been a lot of talking and a lot of things sort of put out there, but I feel good in myself for actually just saying these things, because I feel like if I'm just not putting videos out or not explaining these things, then it's all sort of kept in the dark and just sort of ended at the last video, and I really don't like that. If you've made it all the way through this video, I appreciate you so much, and if you haven't subscribed, click that subscribe button. It's completely free, and I've noticed the subscriber count is actually just completely going up and up and up. We're nearly at 500 subscribers. I can't believe I'm saying that. And the watch hours are halfway to the target, which means I'm so close to being able to open a merch store. Again, I've got so many ideas for merchandise and accessories, and I think you as the viewer, if you're interested in TDIs and diesels and stuff, you would absolutely love them. So that's my current goal, is 500 subscribers, as well as the current watch hours, which again is slowly going up too, and we're nearly there, and it's really exciting. So hopefully 2026 is the main year for TDI Society, where I get a lot more viewers, a lot more people joining the club, a lot more videos produced, and we build that community up, and I'm really looking forward to it. So that's it from me today. I just want to say thank you again, and also if you haven't, click the subscribe button, follow the socials in the links below, and I do wish you and your family a Merry Christmas, and I hope you have a great New Year. Thanks for everything this year so far, and I hope to see you in 2026. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.